Hello again, Right Brain Revolution. Welcome. Thank you for joining us. This is our eighth. When you say the eighth with the TH, you don't really hear the eighth. The eighth meeting. Yeah. Well, these are the finesse that people who keep on learning a language notice. Otherwise, we don't notice this. So this is our eighth meeting. And today we return to the course about the wisdom of intuition. I remind you that we work here with 6 topics. Let's see if I remember by heart. Transformation of anxiety, intuition, self-love, reducing self-criticism, kingdom of creativity, and transformation of anxiety, or emotional transformation. This is it. And I think you are first time here. What is your name? How do you say it? You wanna help us?
Yes, Agnieszka. My name is Agnieszka. I am from Poland.
Fantastic. Welcome. Thank you for joining us. Okay. So now we're going to watch the video of the second lesson of the wisdom of intuition. I invite you to write notes, questions, insights, whatever you want about this video. Despite the fact that intuition may sound pretty illogical, I can bring a lot of logic to this illogical space. So feel free to write any question you want about intuition, and we're gonna deal with this challenge, okay? All right, so let's watch the video and then we're gonna talk. Where is it? Here it is. Okay. The wisdom of intuition. Chapter 2 is the second in part 1, intuition, a state of knowing. Well, chapter 2 will talk about the fact that logic, our common logic, the logic that we used to rely on, the logic that we usually refer as our brain or our knowledge or our source of knowledge or the thinking part, or sometimes even the very clever part. Well, when we're talking about the wisdom of intuition, we're talking about something else, something a bit else, yet we're still talking about knowing, but a different kind of knowing. Knowing that precedes the understanding. This is intuition. Now, parts in our personality, in our mind, are not ready for this, are not ready to let go, are not ready to lose their dominance, their so-called ownership over knowledge. So there will be some kind of fight. There is some kind of fight. There has always been some kind of fight inside us, not only inside us, in a broader spectrum, in all humanity, especially Western world. There is a continuous fight, continuous struggle of this common logic, struggle of controlling the knowledge, controlling the understanding. And the interesting part in this is that intuition never fights its place. Intuition never fights. Intuition says, I'm here. I bring you new knowledge that you cannot prove, that you cannot understand. that precedes its time. You may trust it and follow it, or you may prefer to say, well, it doesn't make sense and I cannot take it. It's your privilege. I will not fight, I will not force you. I will not try to prove you that you're wrong if you rely too much on your old common logic. Yet at the same time, this common logic that is also related to fear, that all its knowledge, all its data, is related to things that have been accumulated since past till now. That's it. Our common knowledge, our common logic says, this is what I know, and this is what everybody knows. This is the only thing we can trust. This is the only thing we can rely on. It is proven. It is investigated. It is agreed upon. We all agree that this knowledge is right, is valid. We can trust it. And there is no way, our common logic will say, we can say something that we know about when it hasn't happened yet. No way! This is science fiction. Go away. Don't bring me this mumbo jumbo. It's not serious. And this message is being delivered to us since kindergarten, during school, high school, university, at work, families, everywhere. We are trained to doubt our intuition, to deny our intuition, to deny any kind of feeling of knowing that is not based on the rules of the common logic. And this is because a kind of effort made by this restricted part of our mind that wishes to preserve its dominance over knowledge. This is how we created an exaggerated self-criticism to avoid ourselves from being creative just like this, from following our intuition just like that, without any reference, without any proof, without any plan, just like this, just like that. This is why we have created this exaggerated self-criticism, self-judgment, self-doubt, overthinking, overemphasis on the need to plan things, to get assurance before we do things. This is not the way intuition works. So once we want to dive into the wisdom of intuition, we should know our opponents. Especially when intuition doesn't try to fight back. It will never try to fight back. We will have to help our intuition stand there with less interruptions from our common logic. We will have to put the boundary and say, all right, I heard you, but now I want to hear my intuition. I want to connect to this kind of knowledge now, and I will not allow you to interrupt me, to seed doubts in my mind. Okay? And it's not easy. You have no proof that intuition is right. Doesn't matter if you have lots of precedents that intuition works. Anyway, each time it will come to the beginning again. You will have your doubts. You will have your fears. You will have your uncertainty. You will know that it is kind of risk because your common logic will say, well, you don't know if it's right. May be dangerous. You may waste your time. You may waste your resources, your energy. Don't go there. Wait for more information. But intuition doesn't work this way. Intuition says, hello, this is information. Know it. Feel it in your body. You can know it is here. You feel that you know. It may be confusing just because the common logic is fighting your spirit. This is how the way things have been here on planet Earth in Western society. We are about to change it because this is time for new era. But you should be aware that parts of you that belong to the old world will fight to stay there in the position in which they have all the dominance over knowledge. For them, feeling knowledge is something that you cannot even consider. You cannot even, try to use. No, it doesn't make sense, period. Don't trust it. So, the more we get into this practice of being intuitive, of feeling this knowledge, feel the knowledge. I will repeat this phrase. Feel your knowledge. Feel that you know. Trust your feeling and know them. And know this message of the inner compass that is telling you, go there, initiate this. How, when, why? No, you get no more information. Just start going. Trust this information. Trust this knowing. And you will hear the warnings, the interruptions of your left brain, of your old world logic. You will hear, and you will have to be brave enough to say, I heard you, still I continue, because I trust this knowledge that is coming from my feeling. And what we are going to talk about in the next chapter, it is coming also from my body. Okay, so know your opponent. It is part of you. Put boundary to your opponent. You should take some risk in order to have more of the intuition's wisdom, intuition knowledge, and then later take the step. Otherwise, your intuition will not be able to come as often as you want.
You are mute. You are mute.
Maybe you weren't supposed to hear what I just said. Right, thank you. Thank you, Jurek. Hello again. So we watched this video. Although I made it a few years ago, for me, each time I watch it, it's a kind of new knowledge, surprise. I believe I'm just channeling the information. So for me, it's every time to learn this from the beginning. So I wrote many things while watching this video. So and I got a kind of a metaphor. First of all, when we talk about the logic of intuition, we must begin with the understanding that it is illogical. And it may sound strange for some of you, and it may sound interesting for some of you. The intuition's logic is illogical. So we're talking about a space in our mind that has its own rules, its own logic. It does have a mode of function, but it's not the same as the way we perceive logic. This is just a beginning. From here, you may decide to follow this as an adventure because it's illogical. Or you may say, well, sorry, as long as you cannot prove it to me, I cannot accept it. And it's okay. Learning about intuition begins with the intention to open our mind to something further than the logic that we have got used to. So I give you a little metaphor. Let's say that you can send a messenger to the future, like a kind of a spy that walks a few days, a few months ahead, and then to come back and tell you something important from the future. And the things that this messenger will tell you will come as advices. I advise you to do this and this because I saw things in the future. I'm telling you, make this decision. It will be good for you. And then I'm asking him why, and he can tell me, no, I'm not allowed to tell you. I can just give you this advice. You can trust me, take the risk, or you can ignore. It's okay. It's okay. Now, in a way, intuition works this way. It's illogical, I know. It's not just about present, future. We can also consider intuition as a kind of special lenses that from it we can see wider reality with more information. And when there is more information, we have different perspective over our decisions, because currently we make decisions according to what we know as reality, but intuition sees more. So intuition says, well, there are other things that you cannot see, but I can see. I would like to give you some gifts from what I see, but you will need to trust me. So this is the relationship we have between the logic mind and the illogical intuition, which has its own logics. And the focus of this video is about a kind of a struggle that may resemble the passage of humanity from current status to a different status. That is, from a place where we just rely on intellectual logic that works only through proof and consensus, and things that we just agree about, they exist. They are what we call reality. And things that we cannot agree about, we cannot say they are reality. This is common understanding. But when we want to learn about right brain, about intuition, then we're not talking about consensus. We're not talking about things that we all agree. We're talking about inner wisdom. I have it within me, you have it within you. Everyone has their own potential contribution to mankind through the wisdom they have inside them that cannot be proved, and there's no consensus about it. And it is different. And the struggle is between the old world, the one that we know about currently, that says this is logical, this is valid information, and that's it. Don't interrupt me with things that you cannot prove. And what I see as the future world that is opening up to higher places in our mind, to right brain skills, where we can get advice from our heart, information about things we should try, create, initiate, choose, that may improve our life. Just imagine humans as having continuous information about things they should do in order to improve their future. Just imagine that people have this knowledge, and this knowledge not only helps them, helps society. Because once you improve your life, other people's life also improve. Once you clarify your path for self-fulfillment, you bring a better service to other people. And who can help you fulfill this path? Your intuition. If you rely too much on your logical left brain intellectual abilities, it will tell you, no, I don't have anything to tell you about next things to do. Let me check my history. Let me check my precedents. These are the things I have done, and these are the things I know. I don't know anything further. I don't know anything about adventures, about trying new stuff. I don't know. And right brain says, well, I have many, many adventures to take you to. You will learn new things about yourself. Are you willing to take the risk? And this is where we have this kind of struggle. If you look at current educational system, kindergarten, school, high school, university, there's not much room for creativity, for originality, for intuition. They're not regarded as reliable, as serious, as scientific. No, they're not. There's not much work, and I'm afraid that the current trend is to go too much on the old logical way and to make the best of it. Like we have this AI, ChatGPT, where, well, they give all these intellectual abilities to the computer, to the robot. And the robot cannot be intuitive, although some people think they may be. No, robots cannot feel. I give you now flash news. Robots cannot feel. Robots do not have soul. Robots do not feel pain. And the nice thing about intuition, the nice and the challenging, is that intuition, we feel the knowledge. It's knowledge that comes via the routes of emotion. I feel the knowledge. And this is a contradiction in terms of the common logic. What are you saying? You feel that you know? Come on. This is nonsense. You feel that you know? No. I cannot talk to you right now because you're talking nonsense. It's bullshit. You cannot feel that you know. Do you understand that this is a kind of robotic conversation? Because for the robot, there's no such thing as I feel that I know. Do you realize that many people are actually trying to become robots? They try to filter the emotional aspect of their lives because emotions are so confusing, are so unpredicted. So I prefer not to feel. I prefer to think in a linear way where things can be expected. I can be in control. But if you want to make a better coping with your problems, if you want to grow, if you want to take care of the things that are troubling your life, you will have to go to the emotional space. You're going to have to feel. No ChatGPT will help you. No, they cannot help you. And this is exactly where intuition stays, in your emotion. So if I am afraid to feel, I'm afraid for my intuition. If I'm willing to feel, I can sense my pain, and I can also start sensing the whispers of my intuition telling me to do new stuff to improve my life, to heal myself. And I'm going to ask this intuition, how do you know? I've been there in the future. I know. Can you trust me? I know. This is science fiction. This is strange. Come on. This is time traveling and all this nonsense. I don't know. Well, we cannot understand this. But I can tell you, and I can see the smiles over there in the screens, so people know what I mean. Because us people, we are far greater than just being logical. And women know it better than men, by the way. And currently in society that men still have this dominance over knowledge, over what is right and wrong. And what can we do? Women are more intuitive. Why? Because the feminine energy is in charge of emotions. So women are not afraid from feeling bizarre things. So women are connected better to their intuition, and they don't need proof for this. They just know that they know. This is how intuition works. I just feel in my body that I need to go there. I cannot explain why. I feel it. I feel that I know. This is how it works. And if you are used to rely too much on your linear common logic, then you have a conflict. Something inside me tell me, well, this is not right for me. I cannot explain why, but this is not right. And someone else will tell you, no, you are supposed to be here. This is the right profession for you. This is the right husband for you. Stay here. But something in the body is saying this is not right. I don't feel it is right. Well, I'm telling you that this is knowledge. Can I trust this knowledge? Can I defend this knowledge in this fight versus the left brain that is telling me, well, danger, danger, you're doing things that I cannot control, danger, be careful. And you're supposed to say, well, I feel it's okay. I have knowledge in my heart. Now, this conflict is very important. And this is why many times when we meet intuitive message, it is also frightening, because intuition is taking us to somewhere that we don't know anything about. And if we want to control the situation, it is frightening to go to this foggy uncertainty. But if you practice it, and if you try it once, twice, 10 times, you will start to notice that at least some of the times it does work. Interesting. I cannot understand it, but it works. Can I try again? Intuition says, of course you can, as many times as you like. Okay. So these were my illogical words about chapter 2, the wisdom of intuition. Again, we can understand the concept of wisdom, and we can apply this concept also to intuition. Say, intuition is smart. Intuition has its own intelligence. I agree that it exists. How can I receive more of this intelligence? This is our challenge, and this is what we can learn here. And the answer begins with allow yourself to feel the knowledge, to feel it. Allow yourself to say, I don't know how, but I do know that. I cannot explain how, but I know. Intuition is about knowing, even if I cannot prove. Okay. Is it so cold over there, Viola? Oh, you're in the beach. Okay. All right. All right. Thank you for listening. Now it's your turn to share.
Okay, if I may,
Of course.
Mark.
Yes, please. And now, please, because not please say who you are and where you're from, so other people.
I'm David from Israel.
Yes.
So you reminds me something that maybe I've mentioned before, the distinction between a decision and a choice. And in Hebrew, it's very beautifully put as a language, because when you write to decide in Hebrew, you write L-A, which is L-H, H is logic in Hebrew, higayon. When you write livchor, to choose, is start with L-B or whatever you can say in Hebrew, which is heart. Because when you marry somebody or love somebody, you marry somebody because you love him, you chose him, not you don't think in logic. So the intuition is also connected to the heart, as far as I understand, if I got it right. Although now there is a saying about there is so much messages or brain, there is a brain in the heart, but it's a kind maybe different because I know there is IQ, there is SQ, spiritual, and there is EQ, emotional quantity. So it's all connected, mixed, and also separated each. So the intuition is like, I would say, close to the heart. If I got it right, less brain, but you say the left brain and the right brain, so I'm not really complete sure about the division. However, it doesn't matter maybe. Contradictions can go together.
Yeah, thank you, David. And actually, many times the terms right brain and left brain, they're just symbols that we use to make it more comfortable to explain different parts of our mind. It doesn't have to be located in a certain space. We're talking about, by the way, it is nice to say the right brain, not just right versus left. It is the right brain, the part of brain who is right. Okay, so
Which is a problematic issue.
Yeah. Okay, and there is a continuous struggle, and the struggle can become or transformed into cooperation. They do work differently, but they can become a group. They can become a team. So new information from intuition can be delivered to the left brain, the common logic, for it to use and explore. Okay, but it requires there is allowance of the information to pass, even if it doesn't make sense at first. If left brain is open enough to say, well, give me new ideas, I'm open for adventures, they can work together, and this is actually our goal here. Right brain's revolution is about cooperation. Currently, there is some kind of dictatorship of the logical intellectual information that put creativity and spirituality in a relative small place in terms of information. And the revolution is to make a balance between them, not to take dominance, but put them in the right place. Intuition can bring us new ideas, and common logic can do some work with it and learn from it and develop. Okay, thank you, David.
Thank you.
All right, who else wants to talk, to share your feelings, your thoughts? Just open your microphone so I can hear you. David, you need my help?
Can I ask a question?
Of course, Basha.
Hello, everyone. I'm Basia from Poland. I wrote a question. What if this intuition misleads us? And it tells us something, and then after time we discover that it was wrong. Is it possible?
Not in my opinion.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
But this is a fantastic question, but also a question that creates problems. Because inside this question, you are asking for a proof of the validity of intuition. So you would like to doubt its validity. It's okay, but you fail yourself by doing so.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
All right, now pay attention to the fact that even though intuition is telling you something, then you have all those choices that you're going to make with this information. And you have other things that you feel, not on intuition. You have your fear, you have your karma, you have your post-traumas. You don't feel only intuition. And then you make several choices. And then something happens, and then you judge it to say good or bad.
Mm-hmm.
Well, this is just your judgment.
Mm-hmm.
My view is intuition is information for us, but many times it may take time. Many times we are not fully ready to appreciate the contribution of this information. And many times we mix the intuitive information with other desires, other needs, and then it is mixed. And we bring fear over there. And when we bring fear over there, we interrupt the path that was designed by intuition. But it's okay. This is how we learn. But if you ask my opinion that is that intuition shows us paths of healing, of potential positive change. What we're going to do with it? Now, this is another question. The more you practice it, the more you purify the listening to intuition, the better it will work for you. The more you address it in a brave way, without many hesitations, without many doubts, when you do it quicker, then it can help you more. If you wait, if you hesitate, then you put new information over there and you're not that intuitive like you could be. Okay?
And another question,
Yes.
because this is my current experience. I think it was my intuition which warned me about potential problems with something. I will be specific, with renovation, yes, of my flat, in the way how it should be done. And then I was right, because now I'm facing certain consequences of not doing something, yes, and it causes anxiety. And by the way, yesterday I was practicing turning this anxiety, this energy into something good, because I was so overwhelmed with this anxiety, you know.
So you did emotional transformation. You transform your anxiety to something productive. Did you succeed?
Partly. By the end of the day, I managed to go to bed in peace.
Well, this is not partially. This is success. Okay.
So yes. So I thought it was my intuition when I listened to you, but I don't know whether it was my exaggerated critic which had told me that there might be problems, and yeah. But now, after years, I'm facing them.
Okay. By the way, let me tell you that intuition is never insulted, is never angry at us. So if we prefer not to listen to it, it's okay. She will try again and again and again. And it's okay for us to make the mistakes. It's part of the learning process. Sometimes it's hard to differentiate between fear and intuition, between self-criticism and intuition. It takes practice. Many times intuition is talking to us from our body. And the more we practice working with it, the cleaner it gets, the message. Many times you just know, but you don't know why you know. When it becomes obsessive in your thoughts, it may not be intuition. Intuition is like an impulse. You understand? It's like an impulse from the body. And it tries to push you. You feel it as if you are pushed to do or not to do. You are pushed. It is a bit stronger than you. When it is too much in your mind, it may be not so intuitive. It may be related more to your fears. Okay?
Yes, that
I'm
makes sense.
saying that naturally we feel before we think. But we learn how to repress this part of feeling before thinking, and we are taught to think before we feel. The more we are able to recover this ability, then we can feel in our body this push. Okay? This push, I need to paint now. I need to swim now. I don't know why, it's a need. It's an impulse. Okay? But if I think about it too much, I'm losing the impulse because I made this transition from feeling it to thinking about it.
Mhm.
Then the energy goes down.
Mhm.
Okay?
Mhm. Thank you. Thank
All
you.
right. For those of you, Anat, he's here, for example, Anat is intuitive painting teacher and psycho-creative coach. They learn how to listen to the information that are coming from their guts and then to think about it. But first they're listening to their feelings and then they become more intuitive. Just because you say to your thinking, wait a little, I first want to listen to my feelings and then I will think. This is the right sequence.
Mhm.
This is what we like to restore. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Who else wants to share, to ask?
If I may make a remark about what you just said, it's okay?
Of course, David.
When you said that we feel before we think, it made me think about actually what we need and what we want. Because what we need is like having food or breathing or taking care of our physical existence. We doesn't need much, actually. And then it's more connected to the feelings, to experiencing life through what we need. But then there is what we want, and here comes the mind that makes calculations, and then there are more interests, and for you and less for others, and that's how things are becoming complicated. So maybe having too much wisdom is like, or too much mind, too much brain work doesn't really help to our happiness. Maybe
Well,
the contrary.
let's say we have developed this cortex, this part of our brain that knows how to think on the account of the other spaces in our mind that we need them, that are in charge of how we feel. And this is why we get all these robots and AI. This is, I would say, the top of this development. But then we can see that we start becoming stupid. With all this smart technology, we become more stupid because we stop feeling. And when we stop feeling, we make new kinds of mistakes and we even allow ourselves to hurt each other. For example, like what our country is doing now. We stop feelings about what happens to people because we managed not to feel as if it is the right way to be. And I'm sure this will lead to a crisis that will demand us to be more intuitive and more emotional. There's no other way, I believe. It has to come into a crisis. Okay.
On the funny side of it, when you measure, you don't have pleasure, let alone time for leisure, but this is something else, if you got me.
Okay. Thank you, David. And yes, intuition sometimes comes as a need. I agree. I need to do it. You feel it in your bones. I need to do it. And when we do the intuitive painting guidance, we come to someone and we feel that we need to tell him something and we don't know why, but we feel that we need it. It's a need. I agree with you that it is related to a kind of a need, but we can listen to this need or we can ignore it and say, no, it doesn't make sense. I don't have any proof. No, I cannot listen to it. All right, thank you. Who else wants to share, to ask? Anat, good morning.
Good morning. I'll share after Gary.
This will be a real short share. That I'm understanding everything that you're saying, but it's like your words are, you have a PhD in this and I'm in kindergarten. This is so new to me. And I realize I am not very intuitive and have rarely, and because I have made some bad choices, I find choices harder to make in certain areas. And when I hear you say, you just feel you have to do it, that sounds bad to me. It sounds like impulsiveness, like drug addiction or something along that. So this is all new to me, but my heart is open to hear it.
Thank you. Thank you. This is so exciting. Thank you. Thank you. Yes, and so there are fears over there. For example, if you follow just your impulse, you become drug addicted, etc. Be careful. Don't be reckless. Be responsible. Be mature. Make the right choices. So this is the struggle that is presented in this lesson. There is a struggle, and I'm saying that many times in this struggle, our left brain is victorious, and we would like to defend the other part, not just to have them work as a team. So the other part is also present in saying, well, I disagree. You may make another choice. This is my advice. Can you listen to me? Just to have a nice, peaceful conversation between the two parts, not just a fight. All right, thank you. Anat, you wanted to say something.
Yeah. I wanted to say that if I didn't follow my intuition, I wouldn't be here. I got here, looking back at it, it's remarkable how I got it. Completely by chance. But not, I followed my intuition. I think I do it since I was a kid. I wouldn't be married to the guy I'm married to today. It was so far-fetched. I mean, my gosh, if I didn't follow it, I wouldn't be here. And, living a very successful career, becoming a coach. I mean, I never thought I would, but I did it just because I was listening to my intuition, and it's scary, but it feels so right. And I just want to bring another thing, there is passion connected to it somehow. Like Pinky said, there is a drive to go there. It's that it pulls you, it pushes you, and it pulls you. And as Pinky said, as you do it again and again and again and practice it, it becomes easier to believe it, because there is a struggle between the left brain and the right brain. But it's a beautiful place to be. It's like magic. It's like magic. When you follow it and you follow your heart, you are in exactly the right place for you. And I never experienced it like that. So thank you, Pinky. Thank you all.
Thank you, Anat. And we can define magic. We can say, what do you mean when you say magic? And because when we make improvements in defining magic, we can know more about intuition. Intuition is a path of magic, and magic, by the way, is in many ways left brain definition. Magic's left brain says, well, it happened, I cannot explain it, but I agree it happened. I have no idea how it worked. It's a miracle. Well, for right brain, it's just reality. I can bring you to beautiful places, just allow me to take you. I know about these beautiful places. But for left brain, wow, come on, where did you bring it from? Like magic. And And many times, as you say, intuition helps us making changes. It is talking to us day to day. Make a change, stop this, make a change, stop this. It's okay. You can go to different pathway. It's okay. And then every day, and one day, if you choose to listen to it, you do make the change, and then you understand what your intuition was talking about. But unless you go there, you will never understand. You will never connect the dots about what intuition was trying to tell you or lead you to. Okay.
Can you say a few words about how our left brain gets to this place that it understands that it's okay? Get used to intuition?
Well, me and many other people say that actually left brain is not in its right place currently. And this is the whole problem. Left brain has beautiful skills, genius skills, really. So many things, many big things that we have created, developed, coming from our left brain, or from the few hundred years ago, all the Renaissance revolution, the science, technology coming from left brain. But left brain is not supposed to be the leader or the manager. It is more the CEO, the executive function, how to do things. This is left brain's work, ability, function. When you ask left brain to make big decisions, so you put number 2 in the place of number 1, and then it confuses. It doesn't know how to work this, because for you to be number 1, to be a leader, you need to have a vision. You need to see a few steps forward. This is leadership. Right brain has the capacity to see a few steps ahead. Left brain is just waiting for orders. Tell me what to do, and I will do it in a very, very good way. But just tell me what to do. And then you put this one who is waiting for orders in the place of giving orders. Then you have troubles. So if you place your left brain back to its original status, it will work in a fantastic way. It will help create the miracles that right brain intuition is guiding it to. We cannot do any miracle without our left brain. We cannot move, we cannot make any decision, we cannot change anything without left brain is telling us, okay, these are my resources, this is my reality, this is the money I have for this is the time I have for this, these are the calculations. Okay, let's start working. We cannot do anything. But the idea, the vision, the decision where to go now is not coming from the left brain, is coming from right brain who can see a few steps ahead, who can feel the future, okay? Anticipate, this is intuition. So once we make the balance between the two sides, they work together fantastic, in a fantastic way. But as long as they are fighting, actually left brain is fighting right brain, because it was told from kindergarten that it should be the leader, think before you feel, then we have troubles. Then we cannot take care of our addictions, of our pain, because we give left brain the job to take care of the things that he doesn't know how to take care of, because this is emotional, etc. And so this is how you see people together today are trying to make relationship with ChatGPT. Yeah, friendship. They talk, they share their emotions to the computer. This is where we went to, because it's harder to communicate emotions. So the computer will be okay with me. Never get tired, never be insulted, open to any of my thoughts, any of the things I want to say, it will listen. So this is the absurd, and this absurd will lead to the crisis that will restore the balance, I believe. Stav, did you want to say something?
Thank you. Well, talking about intuition, when you're talking about intuition, it brings me to think that this is my biggest force, and I feel like usually I'm always in, not always, but like 90% working with my right brain. And but unfortunately, when I'm look about the catastrophe in my life, I think that maybe using too much my right brain led me to those catastrophes. I'm just sharing, I'm not judging, I'm sharing the feeling. And after all those catastrophes, I found the power of my right brain again, and this is what like keeping me trying to keep going, or keeping me trying to solve those catastrophes and to build me up again with my right brain, with the intuition, with the creativity. So it's like going
All right.
down and up again with the intuition.
Thank you for this sharing. If I had more time, I would have gone deeper to this. Just one thing, for right brain to function properly, it needs the boundaries of left brain. This is the cooperation, freedom within boundaries. And if we don't have the boundaries, we can get a little crazy, because this is the balance. We have the boundaries, some kind of logic, and within it, no boundaries, freedom, but we know we have our limitations. Okay, we're going to stop here. Sorry, I have to go. I cannot hear you, David, but I have to stop. Thank you.